got a video on numerology for you today. This is something that a lot of people really froth over. It's not just numerology, this is a broader topic for anything symbolic or anything that people attach a lot of meaning to and kind of live their lives by. I'm going to just use a quick example as the number 11. And a lot of people, when they see the number 11, they see two ones, and two ones can make two. So it can be 11 or 2. The reason that you should question that is the very fact that that can be written in a different way. For example, in Japanese, it's written as 10 and 1 is 11 in Japanese. So even though a lot of cultures actually use the symbol of two-stroke to denote 11, which is two ones, the very fact that it can be done a different way, it just should raise a question in your mind that perhaps that's not a universal principle. The other thing that people use with 11 is they use the ratio 11-11, which looks like 11-11. And people will say that that's quite significant whenever that turns up, for example, in time or dates or anything that, anytime that happens in your daily life or nature, when you notice 11-11 as a ratio. The thing with time and dates though is that time and dates are man-made. They don't actually exist in nature. An example of that is when we came to 21st December 2012, which is only recently gone, and people were making a big fuss over what might happen and everything like that. There were two reasons I knew nothing was going to happen. One, in my head, because I know that in the infinite capacity of the universe and the multiverse, time doesn't exist anyway. This is just something that man has created as a way to measure, I guess, their journey through life. So the mere fact that it doesn't actually exist, I knew in my head that you can write, for example, the 21st of December 2012, depending on which country you're in, you'd either write 21-12-12 or you'd write 12-21-12. So there's a lot of anomalies in how people come up with dates. The other thing is obviously is that there was no actual start time to anything date related. So it is just the fact that we've made it up. So in my head I knew nothing was going to happen. In my heart, I knew nothing was going to happen because I couldn't feel this big change that was supposedly going to occur. And when you are more attached to nature and you're not living your life so much by beliefs, which I think really, beliefs, when you attach a lot of meaning to things and you form a lot of beliefs and you live your life by beliefs, a belief will tend to distract you from the broader reality that exists. It's just something that can make you feel comfortable in a world of so many possibilities. So in my heart, when you are more connected to nature, you get to understand these things. It's something you can really feel, and a lot of times you can feel when something's going to happen, when something's not. For example, animals can tell when it's a change of the season or when there's an impending event. Animals can tell beforehand. We can tell as well. We're just, because of our conditioning and the way, basically because we live in the matrix, that takes away your ability to actually perceive these things. So moving on. The numbers actually exist, yes. Numbers exist in nature. Nature is actually made up of numbers. You have things like the Fibonacci sequence, you have Da Vinci came up or recognised the golden ratio, which is something that we universally perceive as beauty in nature, and it can be broken down into numbers and ratios. And everything in nature really is numbers because everything in the universe is just, it's coded information, and it can be broken down, in fact, into just simply ones and zeros. Everything, the stars, everything that we're made of and everything we've come from just come from a specific code, which is ones and zeros. So yeah, numbers exist. The thing is, we've just denoted, for example, I'll use 11 again, we've denoted 11 as in a symbol. The way 11 actually exists in nature is like this, which could also be denoted like this, or this. So you can imagine how many ways you could do that. It's actually infinite. So numbers exist in nature in an infinite capacity. And this is one of the reasons why I don't, personally, why I question the need or the want to attach so much meaning to anything or form beliefs about anything. So when I look at, say, a moonrise or a sunset or just a beautiful woman, I don't, by not attaching meaning and belief to it, and by not breaking it down into symbols and ratios and what have you, I feel I'm actually able to experience things in its infinite beauty and its infinite capacity. So the takeaway to this is, I'm not saying do or don't do anything. I'm just really giving you some another perspective in a way to perhaps question some of the things you might be living your life by at the moment. So if numerology and symbolism and anything along those lines is part of your journey at this stage, that's cool. I just encourage people to question things, because when you question the reality of anything, that's when you can really grow to a new level and get to that next level much, much quicker than I think you will get by living by the beliefs that you might have formed. So something to think about, something to ponder.